one of our viewers wrote in and said that when they first met this person, they really wanted to impress them. So they, the person that wrote in was a little bit younger and wanted to seem more mature. So she told this gentleman that she was 17 turning 18, and she's really 16 turning 17. And now they want to get intimate, and she feels like she has to tell him.
This is one of our viewers wrote this in? Viewers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she's struggling. How do I tell this person that we can't be intimate yet? Because he's 19.
Yeah.
And I've lied to him for about 6 months.
Okay.
So she's asking for help on how do I clean something like this up? Which is like, am I going to lose him? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
This is Reed Mahelko from readaboutsex.com.
And Kathy Vartuli from the intimacydojo.com sitting right next to me. Yeah. This is a deep question.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that you wrote in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're in a pickle.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing to do is to be honest. So you have to come clean. The difficult conversation formula that I like to use to help people get clear on how to have a difficult conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But coming clean and then legally speaking, waiting until you're whatever the age is where you live.
Yeah.
Because the age of consent is different.
And I think I really love Reed's difficult conversation formula. I think if you follow that, it will help you process what you're feeling too. And you can find that readaboutsex.com/convo,
mm-hmm.
CONVO. And part of it is letting someone know, so where you were coming from and what the intention was, so that they get a concept of like, why did you do this? And it is really hard. When we're trying to clean something up at this level, it's really helpful to find a good friend you can practice with, or maybe a counselor or a therapist if that feels right to you. But just a rough idea might be like, oh, hey, there's something I didn't tell you. What I'd really like is for you to know I will tell you as soon as I can, and that I feel bad that I didn't tell you sooner. And when I first met you, I was really impressed and I really liked you, and I wanted to get to know you, and I thought I needed to tell you I was older than I was to get your attention, or to feel like, for you to feel like you're important to me. And the truth is, I'm not almost 18, I'm almost 17 or something like that. Like, giving them some context, which I really love. Your formula helps walk you through the motivations and like what you're afraid of. I'm afraid that you're gonna reject me or leave me or be really mad, and here's why I did the thing I did. I think it lets people understand a little better where that came from, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can create context, and you need to have an adult conversation. Not that you're not an adult. Like, this is what's so interesting, right? Is like age of consent and
mm-hmm.
age and ageism and all these things. You need to, all of us, like humans, having adult conversations or serious conversations about serious things, being that like sexuality and connection at any age is something that we should take as seriously as we can, and practicing the ability to talk about things that are difficult, to be able to be truthful
mm-hmm.
with each other when we weren't truthful. Like, that's really the big growth piece for any human being at any age, is like, we all fib or lie or get surprised or shocked and don't say the truth, or we say what we think is the truth, but then we learn more about ourselves moving forward, or our minds change.
Yeah, or we have context, like we might share something that's true in that context, but if someone takes that exact thing and says it elsewhere, it's like not quite true. Yeah. Like, how do I...
So that kind of honesty, which also means that you're not always going to get it right, like that ability to have those conversations is what will help all of us navigate life as human beings, connecting with one another. And it's never easy for me when I have a difficult conversation. That's why it's called a difficult conversation. It's not the easy conversation formula. It's
Wish it was.
When we hesitate, when things get difficult, is how do we create clarity for ourselves? So how do we slow it down and get clear such that we can then share courageously and bravely the clarity with other humans, and then show up and deal with the fallout and the reality of situations.
I think it's a lot better. A lot of people try to double down. I've certainly done that. Like you try to like, no, I'm going to stick with the lie, and it just gets bigger and bigger and snowballs. So I really like, I think it's probably speaking about it sooner rather than later is useful. If you have a close relationship with your parents, you may want to talk about that with one or both of them. A counselor if you have one.
Counselor, therapist, if you have
teacher.
access to somebody that you feel like you can trust, or professionally who's trustworthy. Just so you're not trying to do it alone, and just so you're not trying to do it always with your friends, because your friends love you, but they are gonna be protective of you in ways that might not have a bigger picture kind of viewpoint. So having more points of support, and points of support in different ages and different kinds of like especially professional support, counselors, things like that can be really helpful for you to get clarity for yourself.
Yeah. And scarleteen.com is a great resource too. There might have some other information about this kind of thing. We really appreciate you writing in and asking, and we hope that it goes really well for you.
Yeah, hope this helped, and go be awesome.